I don't want another gas tank, frankly. And this is water cooled, though the waste heat is dumped into the nitrogen. So this nitrogen line is used as the heat dump for a condensation chamber. My water is pressured into the coolant pipe. Here runs the length of all of the gases, keeping everything at about 20 degrees, including slowly bringing down the temperature of the water that's in the reservoir. But you know, that is a slow process. Because water can cool these down so well because water has an enormous specific heat, but the same massive specific heat makes cooling water difficult. This will take any steam. As any hot gases come through here, steam will be created, pushed up there, and then filtered back down. I could make a more passive system, but honestly, I don't see much of a reason to. I think this is good enough. Right. Yeah, it's going to be a while before we see anything come from that. Right. I think it is time for us to grab the waste gas from the furnace. Aavak red feature wall, maybe? I think that might be a bit eye-bleeding. We're going to want... I don't think we've got... Yeah, we haven't got time because my alarm's gone off. So I'm not going to make a room around that. But that'll be something that we can work on in the next stream. What we will do here... How hot is this? It's getting down there. What's in there? Yeah, barely any oxygen is what's in there. Now, one of the big advantages to having this in the room, by the way, will be that it would no longer be... I would be able to manage ices without worry. But okay, yeah, the final thing we're going to do is we're going to test the capacity of this system. Ooh. Before I do that, though, I need to get into the habit of turning off the pumps to the suit. And the reason why I need to do that is that the suit will take whatever heat is pumped into those initially into the canisters. It won't immediately have time to cool down enough. So we are going to want to make sure that this doesn't pull in super hot air, because once it's in there, it can't go anywhere else. I could expand out the ability of all of this to cool by having those further back, but I think that would be unnecessary. Okay. We're going to be able to take that away. We're going to be able to take this away. No, well, I'll probably expand that, actually. All right, let's put my helmet back on. That's all turned off. Yep. Okay. I'm going to quickly go and empty out the furnace. Like, it really doesn't take very much water to shield from cosmic radiation. My favorite usage idea for water is one where a thin layer of it can be used as radiation shielding for once we decide to go outside our sun's magnetic field. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, that seems, in all of the literature I read about it, to be one of the main expected methods of shielding is having ice shielding. Lock you in. Okay, nothing too much. Are you set correctly? Yep. Okay, about to pump a lot of hot gas in there. My disappointment is immeasurable. Okay. Back to the silly. Put a back pressure regulator on there instead of a pressure regulator. There we go. Now I need to make sure that that is correctly set. On the plus side, so far, except for the airlock, all of my mistakes have been ones which, generally speaking, wouldn't have threatened me. They were mistakes that exasperated me, but basically they failed safe. They were fails, but they failed in a safe way. Sheep in a cart says, the per mass efficient shielding is actually mostly plastic with a few metallic foil layers. Oh, really? Well, I guess so, actually. Lifting off with, like, a bunch of ice attached. Now we're draining this out properly. Send Aavak to space. He's the only guy with luck that cannot fail. No. No. Aavak is only willing to go to environments where ferrets can natively be supported. So until space can natively support ferrets, not going. Refuse. Oh, no. I didn't say I wouldn't leave Earth. I just said I'm not going to go to space and just hang around in space. Or a future ferret to natively support space instead, then that's fine. Yep. Bring on the nanomachines. Let's turn that off. All right, you're coming with me, buddy. Let's have a watch of you. Quickly being emptied out. That's going to be filtering through. You're gaining. You're not yet. You wouldn't gain much anyway. Pollutants have made it to the end of the line. They're being vented. Are we just venting that? It might have been a tiny amount of volatiles, to be fair. Yeah, a tiny, tiny amount of volatiles. Okay. Okay, well, now that the sun's gone down, before we wrap things up, I'm going to add our oxygen into the system. Quite a lot of it. Then I will add volatiles, but only when there's no more oxides. Otherwise, explodey in the pipey. There we go. Oxygen's starting to build up. Temperature in here is a little bit cold. Not a big fan. Kind of like your temperature rise a little bit, if I'm honest. I'm just going to make sure that that is still happening. Wait a second. Oh. Well, I guess the gas in this pipe, can that not cross this threshold? It might be that the gas isn't able to cross the border there. That is not something... Because I've not really played around with this sort of stuff too much, so... That's not something I was aware of. Okay, I'm going to need a purge valve over there then as well. That is... frustrating. Because it's going to be awkward to create a valve that'll work for that. Oh, actually, no, it might work out. Maybe. Wiring is going to be a real pain, but... kind of surprised that that hasn't turned into liquids yet. Chat, anyone in here who is familiar enough with the way that the tank connectors work that can confirm for me before I go ahead and like add in extra power draw that's unnecessary, whether the liquid connector and the gas connectors on the portable tank connectors restrict movement to the specific phase. So like only liquids can move through the liquid connector. There's 489 kilopascals in here. 235 there, 235 there. DemonWorks says, so far as I'm aware, there's no restriction. Then why isn't it equalizing? Because it's not equalizing right now. whatever's happening, this gas in this pipe is not equalizing. Oh, but wait. The only way that could have been gas is by liquid coming up here and then evaporating. So why is that gas not connecting? Thinking through it, it's very clear you can make that trip. But now it's kind of stuck. Hendak says, with a portable tank, they only connect to the pipe of the tank's type. So you need to add the gas to the liquid pipe, I think. Alright. It's behaving in a way that I wasn't anticipating, but I can have a proper look into that another time. Oh, actually, what I wanted was to put that on. See what's left in this. Nothing. Oh, and actually, in that case, I do want to add something. Anything left in you? No, you've been completely drained. You've been completely drained. Okay, good. The filters are effectively acting like pumps in that regard. All right. Volatiles. Go forth. There we are, plenty of vol. And there we go. Volatiles are accruing. Gases can't go in or out of a connector in the liquid pipe. Okay, so the gases are completely isolated to one another. Right. In that case, then the last thing I'm going to do is sort that out. So I'd rather not have that waiting for me to notice another time. There we go. I'm going to need insulated pipes. Have enough. Oh, actually, no, I do. Just need you to connect. Oh, wait. No, what I need is, ironically, a third temperature control. Because the problem I'm having is caused by the fact that the gases, once they're up there, if there's no liquids bridging them, are just gaining heat. So, in actual fact, what I need to do here is prep a... Oh man, NOS is such a pain in the bum to work with. But I'm going to have to bring that pipe down and equalize down here. Either that or have the gas pipe connect up there, I suppose. But actually, that isn't a bad idea. Why not? Well, so No, because if I connect that there, then this will... Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, no. I stayed too long. The sun is angry. Ah! The sun is angry that I haven't wrapped up the stream when I said I was going to. Fear the sun. We're doomed. Every single one of us. Doomed. You know what? I'm starting to think that, is there really any point to this part? I mean, realistically. Well, yeah, because I want it to be stored as a liquid. Maybe I need 2 separate storages. Okay, Madcat 3580. When you say gases can't go in or out of a connector in the liquid pipe, does that also apply to liquids going through a gas connector? Ah! Oh, it was a good one, chat. Quickly! The eclipse! Blessed be! We're saved! Saved! Can't catch me, sun laser. I would totally be okay with like taking health damage if you're out and directly visible to that, as opposed to my eyes. Chat, my eyes. I can't see, chat. Ow. Life is pain. Pain. Everything is on fire. Aavak does need blinds. The Uniwork says, I really do want to know if sunglasses help with that. Okay. Okay, last thing we're going to do. I'm going to go and try and print sunglasses. The last thing. The last thing, chat. Maybe. Even the devices worship the sun. It has not made a difference, chat. I fear the lunar surface is cooking. How did you do that? It's a sacred Quarian technique. One day, when I have built enough reputation with the Quarians, I'll even be taught how to use emergency induction port. The sun is on. The sun is exploding, chat. That's what's happening. It's not really exploding. Unless. Maybe it is. Something I have to press? No. Sunglasses do nothing. Relax, we'll wake up at a campfire in a minute. They make me look cool. Ah, right, okay, fair. No, the plants are not burning. Neither am I. It's just the sun is dumping an enormous amount of heat into the world right now. But the little air conditioner that could is saving us. The goggles, they do nothing. Yep. I'll face the wall, chat. I'll wait for the sky laser to be less angry before we wrap up so I can say bye properly. But at this point, our atmospheric setup is basically finished. We have a suit refiller that I will turn on. Same for jetpack. Life support battery is fully charged. Oh, there we go. The death laser has gone back to normal levels. Like, I actually hope they add some different stuff, but I don't think they will because it's a very gentle storm. It doesn't do damage to devices. All it does is it will cause your... Oh, I left that on. I shouldn't have. It'll cause your solar panels to output 400% power for a time, which could potentially break things. Hopefully it doesn't, though. I'm going to have to go and check for burnt out cables later, because I did just double the amount of solar panels. But as far as storms go, it's extremely gentle. It's very easy to manage. In some ways, it's a benefit, and only a benefit. It means that you need to get heavy watt cables for your solars way sooner than some people do. They just stick on the low watt cables, which are cheaper to make for a much greater amount of time. But as far as the like difficulty spike goes, it barely changes things. If all of a sudden that light was hot enough to actually hurt you, because it'll make you hotter in your suit and you'll have to use more oxygen to cool down, and it'll make your environments that have windows hotter, so your cooling systems will have to work harder. But it doesn't damage plants, it doesn't damage you in any tangible way. But I'd kind of like it if it did. I'd enjoy that extra brutality. Just a tiny reminder that Aavak hasn't played a certain game and has expressed some interest in playing said game, so tread carefully. Uh-oh. What have people talked about? Hey, it's Iraku. Over 7 years of inspiration. Always glad to support you. Thank you for everything, as always. Oh, thank you very much for the 88 months. That is a bonkers amount of time. Oh no, a sunshade will absolutely... it's basically like shutters that drop, and at that point no solar heating occurs. Same on Venus, same on Vulcan. Oh, cheers, Joe, that's very kind of you. Bonkers, you say. 89 months. Thank you very much, mate. Chat has said nothing bad. I'm just nipping things in there. Fair enough. Yeah, radiation damage would be nasty, but it would also give you a reason to care about making medicine with ferns. Just gonna say, because basically there's almost no reason outside of that. All right, anyway, our base is now double clad, It's clad on the inside, clad on the outside. Which means that I can remove the things behind those walls and do wiring and such, or I can remove the walls as long as the things behind them are fully welded and do wiring in here. I still need to solidify the perimeter around the room just to be certain that I don't cause any hiccups, but we also need to properly wall the airlock as well. But atmospherics is up and running, and as far as things go, I think our character is probably now living in luxury. Absolute luxury. Nemo, thank you so much for the raid. I'm so sorry, but I am actually in the process of wrapping things up, and if I don't, my mods are going to shout at me. Because I've been dragging things out for one more thing for the last, like, 20 minutes. Or 42 minutes? How has it been 42 minutes, chat? It felt like I just had a quick 5-minute detour. What the heck? But thank you so much for the raid. It is massively appreciated. Raiders, again, I would genuinely give you a quick tour, but I'm going to have to, you know, be a sensible streamer and actually take care of myself. Also, my cat is suddenly very interested in, because she can tell I'm starting to wrap things up. She's like, ah, good, playtime. So yeah, we're gonna have to wrap that up a little bit. Wanted to see where the base was since I was lurking before I went live. Oh, well, you know, okay, just this one, chat. Don't be angry with me. Don't. I'm not going to make this into a 40-minute thing. Also, thank you ever so much, Friendly Ghost, for the 5 gift subs. That's super kind of you. So, quickly, indoor space. Been decorated, been cleaned. We now have part of the system live. Our suit dock is live, which is extremely nice. We've got water all set up. We've also got... this will be atmosphere mixing to correct amounts once the last little bit of atmosphere prep is done. I'm still not quite there. Ral Gamer, thank you so much for the 5 gifts up. That's so kind. The universe is conspiring against you. I know, right, Lady Sheilab? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be sensible. I'm going to wrap things up. No, actually. The sun's going to explode. You're going to get raided. Is this a hype train to keep streaming here? Well, I'm here until the hype train runs out, so I guess so. This is the workshop. Again, much cleaner now that I've been able to pull away some of the odds and sods that were in here. This is my furnace emptying tank. I am intentionally creating a bit of a low-tech base because I don't want this to be my forever base, as much as it, you know, nothing more permanent than a temporary solution. But so that's the main habitable area. Got some solar up top. This is the main workshop area. And when I want to take furnace gases, I need to collect them using a tank and carry the tank down here. Like I said, you know, kind of low tech. This will eventually be a room mirroring the workshop, but it is a very temporarily set up room right now. But this is the atmospherics. So I bring that tank down hither, where it will... It's probably already emptied, yeah. That empties out into the various filters down below. Quickly show that off. This is very slick and clean and organized base. Thank you very much. You didn't see it. This is a very slick and organized base. Just repeat that like a mantra. We've got nitrogen that is used as a heat dump for my condensation chamber. Sumi, thank you very much for the cheer. And Ballistic Sam as well. Diolch yn fawr iawn. This is my water. There is a ice crusher there that is only used for water ice. This pressurizes a coolant pipe. Currently up to about 40 liters, but it will push it a little bit further if it needs to. And also tries to maintain equal temperature, but you know, there's cooling water is a slow process. Effectively, all of these gases are water cooled. So we've got, they will filter out in daisy chain in sequence. I'm not collecting pollutants, I'm just venting those, since the only real use I had for them has kind of been replaced. Though that being said, I didn't end up building the Mark II miner today instead of the pneumatic miner. But yeah, so we store these in mobile tanks, in portable tanks, because, again, this is meant to be a temporary base. And when I build the permanent base, I'll want to move all the gases away. And that seems like if I build it with these in mind, then it's going to be a lot easier. But all of these have direct heat transfers with the water pipe. So this is all trying to keep everything at around 20 degrees. Which, you know, it's doing a reasonable job of it. I need a slight change to the N2O separation, because I'm trying to store it as a liquid, but I'm hitting some snags with that. But I will have a look through that in a little bit. Mostly it's about, I wasn't aware that the gases and liquids would struggle to cross the liquid or gas, like the opposite anchor point on the portable tank. So the gases can't go through the liquid valve, so I'm going to need to put a purge valve there to sort that out a little bit. Down here, all of that water comes back, and as it cools the very, very hot gases, it gains enough temperature to start to evaporate. This purge valve is keeping enough pressure in this pipe so that 20-degree water can exist in there. Anything hotter than that is going to overpressurize it, and it will extract the excess pressure into this pipe here. If for any reason so much pressure gets in there that the water then condenses, that will end up going through a condensation valve and going back into the liquid pipe. But we do have the condensation chamber here specifically to help with that. This one will use the cold nitrogen as a heat dump and just cycle steam back into water, and then that cycle continues, and it just keeps rolling back and forth, keeping everything cool. It's working quite well. Again, I need to address this problem over here, which is a little bit of a pain, but it's nothing too terribly bad. And thank you very much to another friendly ghost who just dropped in 5 gift subs. Thank you. Since it's still growing and being worked on, obviously, there are places where some things that aren't completely tidy. It's fine, yeah. We pretty much spent all of our time today working on this. It's now up and running, and I'm so incredibly pleased with that. Because now that means I am one step closer to ripping all this out, taking away that atmospheric, that pipe connector, that atmospheric's over there. In fact, we're going to head back in so I can log off in the base proper with my suit off. But yeah, we've got the suit charging, restoring jetpack, all of that. It's just so convenient. Go and dunk. Perfect. But with all of that done, so yeah, this is going to come out, all of the atmospherics over here. I will then be able to build a proper kitchen, and the next big job for us is a computer and setting up tracking for traders. We're going to continue to live in this temporary starter base until I have some diversity in the plants that we've got. Specifically, I want soybeans so that I can start making fries, or wheat and soy so that I can start making bread. I'd also like to pick up some ferns and switchgrass, actually. If I can get ferns are wildly more capable of providing oxygen than my potatoes. And switchgrass would just be very useful for doing, for making biomass. Or you want to add some display too in the room for Atmos in the base, or just use the computer? Right now, I could set up a gas monitoring system. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Just to check the current composition of the temperature and the pressure in here. But it's not super necessary, and because I'm really trying to keep things fairly low tech in terms of the automation. I'm not in any rush to like set up custom displays or anything that is more functional than would be just a gas console reading from a gas sensor. In the base, generally speaking, I don't need to worry about it. Maybe the temperature would be worth checking, but we would have to see. Oh, and thank you so much for another 5 gift subs. My lord. Chat really does want me to stay for a little while. That's super kind of you. Taters are doing well. Starting to see some genetic drift, though. We will eventually... Like, once we've got a proper hydroponics room, I will be setting up full-bore plant genetic modification. Making the plants consume less, produce more. So on and indeed so forth. The solar storms have been glorious in so many ways. I wish they were a little bit more impactful, but I also understand that basically it's now a second storm on every planet that had a storm before, and it's the first storm on the moon, which is meant to be the beginning, quote, end quote, planet. So I think I don't anticipate they're going to make it any harsher than it is. It already will cause your solar panels to burn out the wiring if you haven't upgraded to heavy watt cables. And even then, if you've got too many solar panels, it might still do it, since it multiplies the output by 400%. Where is you going with the next base? A different planet, or... Oh, no, it'll be on the moon. I'm just going to set up a more kind of from the get-go planned base with rooms and dedicated functions, rather than simply growing it out of a single room, which was necessary just so I could eat and drink. We would have actual purpose around it. And with a lot more space, I could do significantly larger things like, properly leaning into automation. I really do enjoy the automation side of things and programming IC10 circuits. So in a way, I'm saving the best to last for myself. But, setting up deep miner outposts, having automatic smelting, and then in the main hub, I'll probably build a garage for a rover, maybe get an Amy going out there doing some mining, ultimately set up rocketry, have plant genetics going on. DemonWorks just said, and I just did a quick check. It does look like the portable connector does in fact filter its port based on phase, at least for output. Yeah, no, I'm pretty certain that the portable connector, that what we have right now, I'm going to need to modify. I didn't realize that would be quite so effective at causing me issues, because it is definitely causing me issues. I'm going to need to cool the gases that are coming out of that connected DemonWorks. Looking forward to this being a longer series, Aavak. Love this game, even though I'm quite a novice at it. Well, that's the thing, is it's as complicated of a game as you want to make it. I strongly encourage anyone who just thinks, oh, this looks cool, to just jump in with both feet. You will die a bit, but that's to be expected. You'll learn it from every single death. Or you can play it in a much more forgiving difficulty setting, where deaths are much less likely, or straight up in creative if you just want to learn how to get things going. There we are. I think that's going to be where we have to wrap things up. In about 55 seconds, I am free. Thank you so much, though, for the gift sub. That is incredibly kind of you. So very kind. Does anyone have any questions regarding the base? or our plans. Until another... Okay, well, if enough friendly ghosts chain it together, then maybe we'll be here for a little while. And I'll have to start working on something again to give myself something to do. Explosively decompressing is the first step to asphyxiating. Well, yes. Yeah, I mean... Well, I mean, not necessarily the first step. Oh, good lord. I'm never going to get away. Never.chat. I'll take it as a challenge. I was a fool. I was a fool. Oh. All right, we're here for another 5 minutes, so I guess I'm doing something then. Now, I'm not going to... We've already done a quick base tour, so now I'm going to get back to working on something. All right. Well, given... well, actually, let me quickly have a drink. Also, don't worry if you see a little smudge on the screen. It appears that the tips are getting stuck for some reason. All right, well, the thing that I could do, and it shouldn't take a lot of time to work on, let's go and get that purge valve set up so that I can, or rather, I don't know, I'll just add another direct heat transfer. Never doubt the challenge and support of the Dapplings, indeed. They are prodigiously generous, especially when it inflicts misery on me. No, that's fine. All right, we want another direct heat exchange. I'm going to need some copper for that. Go ahead. Now, do I have any remaining pipes? Don't think I do. So I'm going to need a couple of extra pipes as well. Also, I'm going to need another tank too. Oh my lord. David just said, oh, that's what it is. I thought it was a water drop on my monitor. And I was like, man, I've been spitting on my monitor today. No, sorry. Oh, what happened? What did Lady Sheila say? Grr, I was lax with my folder admin and ran out of room on my E drive, so my video has the end chopped off. At least I realized before I made it live. Oh, I'm sorry, Sheila. Is it the raw video or just the edited video that was affected? Not that it's nice either way, but one is significantly more fixable than the other. Pipe. Just the edited run. Okay, well that's way better than the alternative. And let's get you made. You know, just a couple of these. Actually, we might not even need any. Thinking about it. I've made a couple now, so I'll just grab them. Also going to need some insulated pipes. Also gonna need my spray paint. Paint spray. And let's go. Thank you so much. Just get this done. Thank you very much, NeoGP. Let's get this one thing done, and then chat's gonna let me go, right? Right, chat just doesn't want me to forget what I was gonna do. That's all that's happening. Chat's just being really nice. It's absolutely what's gonna happen. Right, I need liquid and gas. I need to be pointing the right way. That is the opposite of the right way. I need... No. That is the opposite of the right way. There we go. Right, water's already hooked up. So now... I guess what remains is to... get you down here. See, this whole system was designed with the intention of it being complete. Oh, how that... Really not what happened in the end. I'm so sure I thought of everything. Right, let's get you there, and there. All right, that should now... Wait. Wait. Issue with that is this will rise in temperature, causing this to condense. Oh no, it'll never condense once it's up to that pressure. No, I think I need to actually to get this to be fed back into this instead. That's kind of a pain. Also, thank you so much for all of the cheers and the support. That's so very kind of you. Gotta keep the ball running. All right. So this will get up to temperature very quickly. But I think the issue here is that should, for whatever reason, this pipe ever manage to condense, I needed to be able to flood back in. Yeah. Okay. I see what we need to do. I need a valve. Yeah, it'll work. I'm probably brute forcing it a little bit too much. Like, there's probably a much more elegant way to do this. But I'll roll with what we've got. What I need to make sure is that effectively what I'm protecting against here is my the pipes freezing, because until I hook that up to the temperature control, to the cooling loop, ironically, which was heating in this case, both the canister and the pipe were starting to get quite cold, like a lot colder than anything else. So we were in the -7s, -8s. As a consequence, it was not impossible to imagine a scenario where something managed to freeze in the pipes and thus break everything. Oh my lord. Oh, thank you so very much. Thank you very, very much for the 12 gift subs. Okay. Well, I think that's given me enough time to finish what I was working on at the very least. So, cheers. Right. I'm going to want to adjust this a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. A monetary hostage situation. Kind of feels like it, yeah. Look, chat, I made my bed. I'm going to lie in it. I said I shouldn't have. I now realize how stupid of a thing that was to say. But I did say it. Now, I'd sooner be stuck here for a while than be made a liar. Also, this is giving me a chilling glimpse into what it would be like if I ever agreed to do a subathon. It's much harder to maintain a hype train than it is to just maintain a slow, steady trickle of subs. I can probably be relatively secure in the knowledge that this is going to run out relatively fast. But a subathon is an entire different kettle of fish. dangerous fish, eldritch fish. Like, we're talking dredge fish right now. I need you to... No. Okay. Are you facing the right way? You are now facing the right way. I still need to play dredge, actually. Thunk. All right. At this point, in the event that there is ever so much gas in this that the pressure is enough that at 20 degrees it is able to condense, that will be added back into the liquid reservoir. It won't be stuck in this outgassing pipe. That pipe has to be there though, because as this gets, because if I didn't have it there, then any gas that got in here would be trapped in here. And as this filled up with more and more liquids, the available room for the gas would get smaller and smaller, so the pressure the gas would be exerting would get higher and higher, and eventually it would pop the tank. So I need a gas outlet, but once gas has escaped, it can never get back in as liquids. So if I'm cooling it down to prevent the effect of evaporations, endothermic reactions, you're pulling heat out of the whole system as it phase changes from liquid to gas, that could conceivably eventually chill the system enough that it would pop a pipe. So by hooking it up to the water cooling, that's never going to happen now. But this gas will simply sit there as gas, most likely, until there is enough pressure, which will eventually occur, for that to be able to condense again while it's at 20 degrees. When that happens, if there was ever any water in this pipe, then that will eventually bust the pipe, because gas pipes don't like ever having water liquid in them. So this will fix that. So it's kind of a monstrous system, and I'm sure there's a much more elegant way of doing it. But this should, extreme emphasis on the should, be fail-safe. Because no matter what, this is there. If it ever gets up to 5 kilopascals, 5 megapascals of pressure, it'll vent any excess. Is it more efficient to freeze water?
Hunger caution.
More space efficient. It's a weird one, that. It's a really weird one. I can't quite tell you. Take care, Demi. You have a good one. Also, I'm hungry. But we finished it. Chat, you did an amazing job, because I absolutely would not have finished that. That would have been a task for next time. But now I don't have to worry about this. It's all done. Thank you very, very much for your extreme generosity in making sure that I wasn't left with any weird edge cases that would potentially pop a pipe when I return and inevitably forget that I hadn't fixed it. I am probably going to put a little solar panel over there just for symmetry. I'm not going to do it right now. The hype train is over, and so too is the stream. But first I must clean up. For too many days on this moon, I have been living in squalor. My father raised me better than that. Do not leave your work tools just strewn about the work site. But that was fantastically kind of you. Thank you so, so very much. A level 8 hype train to wrap up the stream. A glorious way to wind things down. Thank you so much. All right. But with that, yeah, time for me to have a spot of noms. Is there no floor potato? Really? Imagine living somewhere where you don't have ready access to floor potato. There we go. Scar some food. Rehydrate. And then we're done. But yeah, super happy with the atmospherics. Still got this little bit to do. But that is definitely something that we can work on in the next stream shouldn't be something that's hard for us to set up. Really, it's just about getting gases into the system enough that I can flip this on and actually have gases to mix. We've probably got enough nitrogen already. O2 though, different matter, I would say. That being said, we've definitely got some O2 too. Still, I'll wait for a little bit. Maybe that'll be something that we'll test drive next stream. Just get a bit of air mix. For those who aren't clear what this is mixing oxygen and nitrogen. There'll be 80% nitrogen, 20% oxygen. Then this mixes in 0.05% CO2. And then that gets pressurized into the base. That's the plan. Anyway, we'll see if I can make that actually work next stream. That's going to be it for us. So thank you very much for dropping by, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed. And I'm looking forward to our next dip back into Stationeers, where we will be finishing off the cladding, the actual room for atmospherics, as well as putting up some proper lighting controls, so the lights will only be on when I'm in there, but also it'll be much better lit. We'll get some floor lighting as well for the basement, and I imagine that'll only take the first bit of the stream, maybe even just the first quarter, and then we can get on to trading, which I'm extremely eager to do because it will be the first time I've ever done it. I've not set up a trader. I've not dealt with the radars. I understand how they work, but I have never had an opportunity to play around with that myself. So I'm actually really, really looking forward to exploring something new in the game. But that shall be it for now.